There's a moment almost every dog owner has had. You come home after a long day. You're tired, maybe stressed, maybe you didn't even have a good day. And before you can put your bag down, your dog is right there. Tail going, eyes bright, and then comes the licking. Your face, your chin, your hands, your ears if you let them. And most people laugh it off. They wipe their face, they say, okay, I love you too, and they move on. But here's what almost no one realizes. That moment wasn't random. It wasn't just excitement. Your dog was communicating something specific, and most owners miss it entirely. Licking is one of the most misread behaviors in the entire dog-human relationship. It looks simple, it feels cute, but underneath it, there's a layered language rooted in biology, attachment science, and emotional intelligence that your dog has been using their whole life. And once you understand what they're actually saying, you'll never see that moment the same way again. Most people assume face licking means one thing: my dog is happy to see me. And yes, sometimes that's part of it, but reducing it to just happiness is like someone grabbing your hand in a moment of fear and you saying, "Oh, they just like holding hands." The behavior is real, but the meaning goes so much deeper. Dogs don't have words. They don't send texts. They don't write letters. Licking is one of their primary languages, and it's been that way since before domestication. The question isn't whether your dog means something when they lick you. The question is, what are they trying to say, and are you actually listening? Let's go through it. All of it. Licking isn't a habit your dog picked up. It's wired into them from the very first hours of their life. The moment a puppy is born, their mother licks them, not out of affection in the way we'd recognize it, but out of survival. That licking stimulates breathing. It cleans them. It activates their nervous system. It's the very first physical message any dog ever receives. You are here. You are safe. You are seen. Licking, from day one, means I am caring for you. So when your dog licks your face, they aren't just doing something cute. They are reaching back into the oldest behavior their species knows, and they're directing it at you. Science backs this up. Maternal licking in early puppyhood has been shown to regulate stress hormones and promote emotional security. Dogs who are well licked as newborns tend to show stronger social bonding later in life. Think about what that means. When your dog licks your face, some part of their brain is running the same ancient program their mother ran on them. They're not just greeting you, they're tending to you. They're saying, in the oldest language they know, you matter to me. Your dog doesn't lick you randomly. They're responding to something specific they're picking up from your body. Human skin carries information: salt from stress, the residue of cortisol, the stress hormone, which actually has a slight chemical signature, changes in temperature, micro-expressions on your face that your dog has spent years learning to read. When your dog moves toward your face and starts licking, especially around your eyes or mouth, they may be responding to signals you didn't even realize you were giving off. There's a well-documented phenomenon where dogs show increased licking, nuzzling, and contact-seeking behavior when their owners are emotionally distressed, even when the owner is trying to appear calm. Your dog isn't fooled. They smell what's happening inside you before you even admit it to yourself. Picture this. You've had a hard week. You're sitting on the couch, phone in hand, telling yourself you're fine. And your dog walks over, puts their head in your lap, and starts gently licking your hand. You probably said, "Aw, they just want attention." But actually, they detected something, and they responded to it. That lick wasn't random. It was an answer to a question you didn't know you were asking out loud. If this is already changing how you see your dog, and we're only 2 points in, subscribe to Pawthology. There's a lot more where this came from. Sometimes your dog licks your face not out of love, but out of a desire to keep the peace, and understanding the difference changes everything. In canine communication, licking around the mouth area is a classic appeasement gesture. It says, "I'm not a threat. We're okay. Please don't be upset." Dogs use this with other dogs all the time, and many of them transfer it directly to humans. If you've ever raised your voice, even at the TV, even on a phone call, and your dog suddenly came over and started licking your face. This is probably what was happening. They weren't confused. They were trying to de-escalate what they perceived as tension in their environment. Now here's where this gets emotionally important. If your dog frequently licks you in situations where you're frustrated or stressed, it may be a sign that they're carrying some anxiety about your emotional state. They love you, but they're also trying to manage a dynamic they find uncertain. That's not a criticism of you as an owner. It's an invitation to recognize that your dog is emotionally attuned to you in a way most people never fully appreciate, and that attunement deserves your awareness. Here's the one that surprises most people most, and it has to do with what licking actually does to your dog's brain chemistry. When your dog licks you, they're not just expressing an emotion, they're creating one. Licking is self-reinforcing. The act itself triggers a release of endorphins in your dog's brain, the same neurochemicals associated with pleasure, comfort, and calm. This is why dogs lick when they're anxious, when they're happy, when they're bonding, and when they're trying to self-soothe. So when your dog licks your face, in that moment, their brain is being flooded with a gentle wave of feel-good chemistry. You are literally the source of that feeling. Think about that. You are the object, the trigger, the reason their brain lights up with comfort. That's not just affection. That's a neurological bond. That's your dog's nervous system saying, "This person makes me feel okay." The bond between a dog and their owner activates some of the same brain regions that activate in mother-infant bonding in humans. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, rises in both the dog and the human during positive physical contact. Licking is physical contact. It's intimate. It's intentional. It is, in every meaningful sense of the word, love, expressed in the only language your dog has. Where your dog chooses to lick you isn't random, and different spots carry different meanings. Your face in general signals high intimacy. Your dog knows your face is the center of your expression, your voice, your eyes. Choosing your face over your hand or your leg is a deliberate choice. It means they want direct connection, not just physical contact. Licking around your mouth specifically echoes a behavior wolf pups and young dogs use to greet returning adults. In wild canid behavior, this signals, "I recognize you as someone I belong with. I am asking you to acknowledge me." Licking your eyes or forehead, especially slowly, gently, is often a comfort behavior. Your dog has noticed these are areas associated with your attention and expression, and they're drawn to them in moments of emotional closeness. Licking your hands tends to be more about greeting, reassurance, or exploration. So the next time your dog goes straight for your cheek the moment you walk in the door, or rests their head close to your face and gives one long, slow lick, pay attention to the context. They're not just reacting, they're communicating something specific about what they need from you in that moment. Sometimes licking isn't about love or bonding, it's about distress. And knowing the difference might be one of the most important things you take from this video. When licking becomes compulsive, when your dog licks you relentlessly, licks themselves until their coat is wet, licks surfaces obsessively, that shifts from communication to symptom. Excessive licking is one of the most common behavioral indicators of anxiety in dogs. It can also signal physical discomfort, gastrointestinal distress, or neurological stress. Dogs who are understimulated, overstressed, or emotionally unfulfilled often increase repetitive licking as a coping mechanism. Here's a simple way to read it. Occasional, contextual licking =sign communication. Persistent, hard to redirect licking =sign. A signal worth investigating. If your dog can't seem to stop licking, you themselves, pillows, the floor, the loving response isn't to laugh it off or redirect every time. The loving response is to ask, what is my dog trying to manage right now? What might they need that they're not getting? You don't have to be a behaviorist to ask that question. You just have to be paying attention. The final point is the one that tends to stick with people the longest, because it reframes every single lick you've ever received. Of all the things your dog could do in that moment, sleep, wander, chew a toy, stare out the window. They chose to come to you. That choice is the point. Dogs are not obligated to seek us out. They don't lick out of habit the way we might unconsciously tap our foot. Every time your dog initiates contact, every time they cross the room, climb onto the couch, press their muzzle against your cheek, it is a deliberate act of preference. Behavioral research on dog-human attachment consistently shows that dogs form genuine, specific bonds with individual humans. Not all humans, not any human, they're human. And licking, especially face licking, is one of the behaviors that appears almost exclusively in the context of those specific attachment relationships. Your dog doesn't lick everyone. Think about that. They lick you, and the people they feel safe with, and the moments when their heart is full and their brain says go, be close to them. That isn't something that can be manufactured. It isn't trained. It isn't performed. It's a natural expression of an emotional bond that your dog has built with you over walks and naps and hard days and quiet evenings. And they are expressing it in the most direct way they know how. Every lick is a vote. A vote that says, out of everything in my world, I keep choosing you. So the next time your dog licks your face, before you wipe it away, before you laugh and move on, let yourself stay in that moment for just a second longer, because that's not just a dog being a dog. That's an ancient behavior rooted in survival and care, shaped by millions of years of evolution, now being aimed with total sincerity at you. That's a nervous system reaching toward yours. That's a creature who cannot speak your language, who cannot write you a note, who has no other way to say it, finding a way to say it anyway, and they keep saying it every single day in the hope that someday you'll really hear them. Now you do. If this video gave you a new way of seeing your dog, or made you look back at a moment you might have underestimated, go ahead and give it a like. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who love their dogs the way you do. And I'd love to know, what does your dog's licking look like? Is it gentle and slow? Relentless the second you walk in? Only when you're upset? Drop it in the comments. I read them, and your dog's story matters. And if you want to keep going deeper into the language your dog is speaking every single day, subscribe to our channel. Every video here is built to help you understand what your dog is really trying to tell you. They've been talking this whole time. Let's make sure you don't miss a word.